Hello, everybody, and welcome back to BrokeN Boys. This is episode 213.
Yeah,
I am Colin.
and I am Mike.
And yeah, this week we're going to be talking about a lot of singles and album that released this week, what we listened to in the month of March.
It's gonna be a
and
lot of
just,
music on this music podcast.
Oh yeah, which
Yeah.
is weird for us because,
Yeah.
But otherwise, we'll talk about some other things that happened within the last week. But before all that, how was your week, Mike?
Week was fine. Kind of a lot of content consumption. Hold on, making sure my cat isn't biting a cord right now. I don't think he is. All right. A lot of content consumption of various forms. Watched a couple movies this week. First thing we watched, we continued our Marvel journey. And the next thing was Ant-Man, first Ant-Man.
Yes.
And I thought it was pretty good, actually. It was a fun movie. I've heard not great things about most of the Ant-Man movies, but it was basically a visual effects showcase in a lot of ways. But it was fun. I think Paul Rudd does good in that movie. I like the family side of it and all that. Um, yeah, nothing to write home about, but definitely not one of the worst things I've seen. It was good. I liked it a lot. um,
Good.
yeah, and then also this week, I don't remember how I came across it, but I saw that on Netflix that was leaving soon was Hereditary, and I was like, hmm. A lot of times when I mention that to people, that's one of the ones you get the "you haven't seen that" type response
Yeah.
from. So I saw it. It was, I don't even remember what night I did it, but I did it in my dark room down here. Um,
Mhm.
and good movie. Yeah, I mean, hot take. But yeah, like that quite a bit. I didn't really know too much going into it either. Um, I just knew there was a lot of stuff having to do with decapitation, and
Mhm.
there sure was. Um, but I'm guessing you've seen Hereditary at some point.
Yes, that is a great movie.
Yeah.
That's like the last. Well, that was like in the last few years that have been watching horror movies more. That's like one of the ones that has really like disturbed me the most.
Yeah.
So very good.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think I'm when it comes to like horror stuff like that, I'm more interested in like I guess the disturbing stuff like that rather
Mhm.
than the jump scare fest. Just because I don't know. I mean, obviously Toni Collette acts her ass off in that movie,
Oh,
but Alex Wolff, the son, does very very well in there as well. I
mhm.
really think all the family does pretty well for the roles that they were given. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah. Uh, I'd like whenever I heard about the movie, I've heard like, oh my god, it's so fucked up, and oh my god, it's so like it is disturbing and stuff, but it wasn't like it wasn't like life altering for me any of the fucked
Right.
up things
Yeah.
that happened, but still very good though. And yeah, probably my favorite horror movie. I don't know. I just had that thought right now, and I can't think of anything that I've seen that goes above that. So yeah. Um,
Nice.
cool. And then yeah, I listened to a few albums this week as well. The most reviewed one on Album of the Year this week was from the private collection of Saba and No ID. And you'll never believe who it's by. It's by Saba and No ID. Saba's a Chicago rapper. And he's a name that I've heard for a while. And I know a lot of people like his stuff. And then No ID is a pretty legendary like hip hop producer who's been around for a long time. Um, And it was a very good album. It really took me by surprise. Like from the album cover and like seeing that it was conscious hip hop, I thought it was going to be some kind of like darker stuff, but it's like a pretty like laid back and relaxed album that's like really pleasant to listen to. Really nice beats and flows and fun lyrics and stuff like that. It was just a great record. I really enjoyed my time with that one. Um, I'll talk about it, I guess, maybe slightly more when we do our monthly roundup. But then later in the week, I don't even remember how I came across it, but I think I clicked on an album of the year, and I was seeing people saying like, "Oh, this album, pack up your bags, Black Country New Road. Now it's these guys coming in." And I was like, "Okay," and it's an album called La Brea by Hesse Castle. That's definitely not how you pronounce that. They're a Chilean band. And it's an album that came out at the beginning of March. And yeah, it's very very post rocky, very like first album Black Country New Road. In a way that's almost maybe slightly too derivative for my tastes. But also it has a lot of good stuff going for it. And I need to do another like detailed listen to it to get exactly how I feel, but it's a pretty cool record. I think it's got a lot of good sounds to it. Um, and yeah, they got that saxophone, those hard guitars, those droning basses, the lead vocalist who kind of talks like this throughout the whole thing, except not in a British accent, but um, um, but yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool. And then the last thing I listened to was last night's new album from Lucy Dacus called "Forever Is a Feeling," um, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. I think that it might be my second favorite Lucy Dacus record. I would need to listen to it like one more time to confirm that, but I thought it had a lot of great production, a lot of great instrumentals. The lyrics are on point as always with Lucy Dacus, and the vocals are great. I just found it to be pretty consistent, and I think there's some real highlights on there too. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much my week. Just a lot of that kind of stuff. And some games and stuff. I mean, we played like Civilization 5 over the week.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think we talked about that last week too, but we did like start like a big game this week that I'm excited to continue. Um,
Yes.
yes, yes. A little bit of Repo, a little bit of Fortnite. Uh, yeah. I mean, I guess I also sent you guys the last song from the EP that
Yes.
I
Yes.
am making and dare I say made. I have made. um, Doing some finishing touches and stuff, and then I gotta figure out some like I don't know if promo is the right word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
All that
Yeah.
kind of stuff, the details, and then it should be in your ears, dear listener,
Thank God.
fairly soon. The only thing I will say is I'm a little concerned because to me it feels like a wintry album, and I might be releasing it in the
Uh,
summer at this point. But we'll see.
well, I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know.
But
I could. I believe it's gonna work no
okay.
matter when you listen to it. So,
Thank you. I enjoy that. And Colin, if you had to sum up that one song that I sent you this week in one word for our dear listener, what would that word be?
banger,
Say it one more time. You kind of distorted.
banger.
Oh, banger. It kind of sounded like bonier or something.
I mean, I got a boner from how banging it was.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot of words. You can't give them too much. There you go.
Boom.
But yeah, I think that's about it for me. How was your week, dear Colin?
Yeah. Week was all right, dear Mike. I've been working. Usually, pretty much just the same old as it has been for a long few weeks here. Um, yeah, working. Our dear GM is he's on vacation and he did the schedules for this week. And guess what?
Hmm.
He didn't pay attention to. making the schedules. He fucked them up for most people,
Oh,
including me.
he didn't
I
pay attention to
was
most things.
yes, I was. I was before I like looked for cover and I asked for people to take my shifts. I was supposed to work 6 days in a row with one day off this week.
Fun.
Yeah, but I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I messaged him, and I was like, hey man, I don't know if it was a mistake or like a miscommunication, but like I'm not doing that. He was like, and pretty much what he said was, yeah, I didn't really pay attention, um,
Okay.
which was super cool.
Yeah, that's
Um,
what you want to hear from the person making a schedule.
oh yeah. But Max also only got like 3 shifts this week.
Hmm.
So, I was like, hey man, you want to take a couple of my shifts?
Yeah.
You could do that.
Easy trade-off.
So that worked out. So she took my Saturday last week and my Wednesday a couple days ago. So,
Hmm.
got some more days off and just was relaxing, maxing. Finished Invincible, which was really really good.
Yeah.
We could talk more about that. However, when I was at work this weekend on Sunday, boy, was it bad.
Oh.
Max was telling me that Saturday was bad because there were parties and stuff, and it was parties and bar crawls due to the fact that St. Patrick's Day
Right.
was on Monday, which was like when people were coming back from spring break or not here yet. So they didn't really get to celebrate, so they just did a belated St. Patrick's Day celebration
Yeah.
over the weekend, last weekend.
All the Irish people couldn't celebrate, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
that's
no, it was
what they were. Yeah.
yeah. Everyone Irish. But it was just super busy. We were super slammed. Uh, and really all last week, I think I talked about we were just really, really busy. And it was a lot. It was a very strange juxtaposition to when everybody was on spring break because we were very slow.
Yeah.
But this week it wasn't too bad other than the weekend busyness wise. Just there were some days where it was like pretty busy, but then other days where it was just like stagnant, pretty much. Like we were a little busy, but not too bad. Yesterday was it was pretty fast paced, but it wasn't like the worst in the world. Um, I yeah, I mean I watched. Like I said, I watched Invincible. I didn't watch any movies, but I've, keeping up with the TV shows I've been watching.
Yeah. I mean, you watched quite a bit
Um,
of Invincible, I think, because I think the last time we talked, you were in like the middle of season 2.
yeah, yeah. I don't remember. I think I finished season 2 after the pod last week,
Oh, okay.
and then I just was like eating away at season 3
Yeah.
throughout the week, and I finished it on Wednesday, I believe. And yeah, it was very good. Um, Daredevil's still great. There were 2 episodes released this week. I only watched 1 so far, but it was like a good little filler episode to get
Hmm.
like Daredevil back in back into being Daredevil and not just a lawyer.
Yeah.
As we're going through the story, the Pit, which is that the medical drama that I've been watching.
Oh, yeah.
Is there's like I think there's 2 more episodes left in the season, but it's like the end of the season arc is like there was a like mass shooting at a festival.
Yep.
And it's just been like a war zone medical center for the last couple episodes as they've been trying to patch up shooting victims and dealing with the busyness of that. And the acting in this week's episode was like the best it's been so far. It's a very good show. It's like really well written. There's one character that I hate so much. And Max brought it up yesterday that she kind of talks like she's in a fucking Disney Channel show.
Oh.
Was she's like this is very cocky, very like just full of herself. and she just like chooses to do these things on her own when she's not supposed to, or she thinks she's better than everybody else, and
Yeah.
she'll they'll be like, oh, well, what's the next patient we're looking at, and then it'll be something, and she'll be like, boring, next. And it's
Jesus.
like, just do your fucking job.
Yeah.
Um, but she plays an asshole very well, but I hate that character very much. But otherwise, good show. Recommend it.
What's that
Got
on?
It's on Max,
Oh, okay.
the Max original. Uh,
Yeah. Max made
yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
She's very talented director
That's
and
crazy.
writer. But, um, otherwise, I've been playing games. I've been my younger brother bought the new Assassin's Creed, and I used his
Mm,
account to play a little bit of that, and I've played like the first couple hours so far, and this combat's very fun. The story so far is pretty good, but I don't think uh the parkour really doesn't hold a candle to how it used to
yeah.
be at all. I think that's how it's been with the last few Assassin's Creeds
Pretty
though.
much, I
Like,
think pretty much most of the open world ones have not had the greatest parkour stuff just because it's
yeah,
open world. Even
the
Origins, which
last
I love, like didn't really have the best parkour in it. Yeah.
yeah, like the last traditional Assassin's Creed that I played before they went into like this open
For the went
world.
woke. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
before they went woke. Um, was Syndicate, and
Yeah.
the parkour and stuff in that one was like really good and really fun. I really love that one.
Yeah,
Um,
if I'm not mistaken, I think that might just be the last like one that they did that wasn't open world. So yeah,
yeah, but I really liked that one, and
yeah,
I played Origins. I never finished it, and I liked it for what it was. But I don't know these ones with like the health bars and stuff, where it's not like, oh, you can just walk up behind people and assassinate them,
right.
or it's just like, I
More
don't know.
RPG element ones. Yeah,
Yeah, and I miss that more traditional Assassin's Creed, and this one has some of those elements, but it's still more like the RPG open world kind of stuff, and it's like not my favorite, but I'll keep playing it, see what it's like.
yeah. I think
Um,
this new one that's come out, I'm really looking forward to playing it in like 3 years when it's like $30.
right. Yeah. um, but yeah, I listened to one album this week, but I listened to a bunch of singles that came out that we'll talk about. I
Yes,
listened
yes.
to "Forever Is a Feeling" by Lucy Dacus,
Hmm.
and I really really enjoy it. I also think it's my second favorite by her. Um, I'll get more into it as we go into our albums that we listen to, but
Cool.
you know, very good, very consistent. Just great writing as always, and love me some Lucy.
Yeah, I love Lucy.
Uh, I love Lucy.
Yeah.
Oh, Lucy.
Where's
uh,
Ricardo? Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, I mean that's basically my week. Nothing too out of the ordinary or anything.
Cool. Same here.
Nothing wrong with that.
uh, uh, do we want to do roundup or singles first? I guess.
We can do roundup before we move into the news
Okay.
and stuff.
Okay. Okay. Well, as we like to do at the end of each month, we like to do a little roundup of our albums we listen to, give you some highlights and I guess some lowlights on my end. I'm not sure if you listen to any lowlights, but uh, yeah, I have. Oh, I should have been counting when I was doing that spiel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I have 8.
You might have 5.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
5.
Well,
All right.
I will start us off then, if that's cool.
Yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. A little alternation. And yeah, first thing I listened to this month was "Luminescent Creatures" by Ichiko Aoba, which is this folky album from a Japanese artist who I really was getting into kind of throughout this month, not as much towards the end, but with listening to her previous album and then this one as well. And I very much enjoyed this record. It's up there in terms of album of the year so far. I don't think it will be the album of the year, but I very much enjoy it quite a bit. And some of my favorites off of here are the opener Coloratura. I think I remember liking Aurora quite a bit, and also, oh god, Luciferine. I don't know. That looks like a French title on a Japanese album. So, the reason I can't remember which songs are which is because they're all sung in Japanese, of course. But yeah, there's a lot of great stuff on here. It's very relaxing, very soothing, and just a very good time. And I have it at a strong 8.
Nice. First thing I listened to this month was Mayhem by Lady Gaga.
Mm-hmm.
New record. I was very excited to give it a listen after the first couple singles, Disease and Abracadabra, which are the highlights of the record. I don't think the album is bad by any means, and it has grown on me a little bit as I've listened to it a couple more times since it came out. But it's just it's pretty basic, well made pop by Lady Gaga. So it's about what you'd expect from her. There are a couple tracks that like play around with different things. Like I think Zombie Boy is the one that's like more disco esque, and I thought that was interesting. There, but really, it's mostly just pretty basic pop, dance pop, electro pop, that kind of stuff. It's there's also a song on here that's like very Taylor Swift to me. I don't remember which one it is. It's either Don't Call the Night or Shadow of a Man.
Yeah.
But it's one of those down there, and it was just meh. But there are bangers on here. Like I said, the two singles that were released are the best off of it in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think Garden of Eden Garden Perfect Celebrity is probably another highlight for me on there. Blade of Grass is it's a sweet little ballad for her fiance or husband or whatever. And it ends with Die with a Smile, which was kind of just tacked on at the end, but I like that song, so
Yeah.
whatever. But it's pretty good. um it's pop, and it's Lady Gaga, and she's a queen, so you got to enjoy some of it at least. But as it stands right now, I'd probably give it like a light 7.
Cool. Cool. Next thing we listened to was Rage Against the Machine. For our artist analysis that we did towards the beginning of the month. And this is their discography, to be clear, not just the self-titled album.
Yeah.
And I had already listened to that self-titled album before, and I fucking love that record. And but yeah, like Evil Empire, I also very much enjoyed, and then Battle for Los Angeles and Renegades, I wasn't as huge on both of those, but like they still had, great energy to them, and great production and instrumentals and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, no, I think they're great, and a really worthy name to be held as high as they are. And yeah, we need more of that energy. I don't exactly remember what I gave them as a rating. I think I might have said strong 8. That sounds about right as a whole.
Yep.
But yeah, I love their first 2 records, and the other 2 are pretty good too. So yeah.
Yeah, as Mike said, the next thing we listened to was Rage Against the Machine discography. I had already heard the first couple records, and I love both of those a lot. The first one is my favorite by far. They are fantastic. Or were a fantastic band who made some really, really good political commentary. Very angry. Their message is very clear. It's extremely well done all throughout their discography. The last couple of records, weren't as good as the first couple, especially the last one being just a cover album, which I was a little iffy on.
Yeah.
Um, uh, Other than it sounding good, I just wish it was their ideas more than just other people's music put to their stylings. Um, but overall, yeah, they're fantastic and well deserving of their well regards in the
Hmm.
music world. Um, Great messages and everything, and I gave them a late 9.
Cool. 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 Uh, Next thing I listened to was Lady Gaga Mayhem. And honestly, I don't have that many thoughts on it just because I still want to have another listen through it. I will do it at some point. I just haven't gotten around to it. But off of my first listen, I thought it was just kind of fine. It didn't. I agree with you that the two singles were the strongest tracks here. Well, aside from "Die with a Smile," I mean that was a single a long time ago that I agree was kind of tacked on. But I kind of wanted to like the album more than I did, and that kind of disappointed me on first listen. So I do want to give it another fair shake. But I don't know. I thought it was fine. It didn't like really blow my mind as much. Not really at all, honestly. But I do like the Disease. I thought Disease was my favorite. But Abracadabra is also a good one on there too. And I liked Perfect Celebrity and Garden of Eden too. It has a good first track run.
Yeah,
And then yeah, it kind of went off after that for me. But yeah, it's fine. And I'll listen to it again at some point. But yeah, I have it at a strong 6 right now.
yeah, very fair.
Yeah.
Um, Next thing I listened to was kind of like Dead Channel Sky, I believe, by
Mm-hmm.
Clipping. Um, and I think I need a listener more to this one to really give my full thoughts on it. But I did enjoy it on a second listen through more than I did a first. It's different from their other records. It's more clubby, more dancey. Um, but it's still really well done. The production's super cool. David Diggs is fantastic as always with his flow and his lyrics. Um, and there's some really high points on here. Some of my favorites were Run It, Dominator, um, Dodger, and which one's the one I really liked?
Was it the outro track?
I think I might have, yeah, Ask What Happened.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's a great record, but like I said, I'm gonna need another listener. So I don't know if I like it as much as like Visions of Bodies or Their Existent Addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but great record. Looking forward to hearing more of it as I go through it again. But as it stands, I'd probably give it like a strong 7, light 8.
Cool, cool. Yeah, going off that thought, next thing I listened to was Dead Channel Sky by Clipping. And I think it's a really good project from them. But they also do, I expect like very, very high quality from them in a way, just because I love a lot of their work. And this one I think is good. Like it like you were saying, it does some of the little bit of a dancier thing. One of the sub genres here on Album of the Year is acid techno, which yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
So it's got a little bit more of I guess a pulse to it than some of the creepier stuff that they were doing on their last couple records. But I think I kind of echo everything you were saying. David does great on here. I mean, the production is still really cool and interesting as it always is on a Clipping record. Um, and yeah, I just think maybe there's a little bit too much of the interludes and stuff, and some of the songs aren't as strong on here as some of the other ones. But I agree with you. I really like "Run It" and "Dodger." "Keep Pushing" is a single that's really grown on me a lot. And then the closer "Ask What Happened" is fantastic as well. And yeah, I'm feeling. Jesus Christ, I really summoned Fantano there. I'm feeling a light 8 on this one. Yeah, Light 8 is what feels right for me on this one. It's a great album. I do enjoy it quite a
Yeah,
bit. Yeah.
yeah. It's a good album. Looking forward to hearing that again. Next one I listened to was Diamond Eyes by Deftones. I had listened to I think their first record from the Fur, I believe is what it is. Um, like a couple years ago, and they're one of my they're my brother's like favorite around the first grade. They're my younger brother's like favorite band, or one of them at least.
Hmm.
Um, and so I was like, yeah, I'll check out another record. And I think the one I listened to, Diamond Eyes, is one of their more, if they're not their most up there popular records. Um, and yeah, I mean, I liked it. It's the first one was a lot heavier, a lot more like primal or screamy than this one. This record definitely has its moments in that kind of area, but it's a lot more just like heavy rock, metal stuff, and it's well done. It sounds good. The instrumentals are good. Um, from what I remember, the lyrics are pretty good too. Um, it just it hits that like nice what I grew up with kind of rock uh like thing in me that just likes a good little bit of a little hard rock once in a while, and
Yeah.
they do it well. It's good. I'd recommend it, and I'm looking forward to listening to more Deftones. I would definitely do that. But for now, I'd probably give it like a decent 8. Good
Cool.
album.
Cool. Sick.
Yeah.
Next thing I listened to was Music by Playboy Cardi. Um, and yeah, I definitely listened to it, and it definitely is 30 tracks long. And yeah. um, not my favorite. I thought that there was a track with The Weeknd that was pretty good called Rather Lie. And one of the Kendrick tracks I thought was decent as well, called Good Credit. And if I remember correctly, neither of them were like brought up by Playboy Cardi himself. It was more so the features. Um, yeah, wasn't a fan of this one. Light 5.
Fair, yeah.
Yeah.
um,
You haven't even listened
and
to it, and
then
that's fair.
I mean, hey, I know that I don't really like Playboy, so
Yep, yep.
um, and I don't think I would like to listen to the album.
Probably
So
not.
that's the last thing I listened to this month was "Forever's a Feeling" by Lucy Dacus, and I really really enjoy it. I think it's like Mike said, it's very consistent, and I honestly think that this one is like, while most of her solo work is like, yeah, this is like a fall winter album. I can see this one being listened to like year round.
Yeah,
Feels more like upbeat and like faster paced than a lot of her older work. Um, it's just there's a lot of good pop rock influence on here, um, but it really shines when it's in that singer songwriter folky kind of stuff that she's so good at. Her lyricism is fantastic, and it always has been. And I'm glad we got a new Lucy Dacus album after a few years. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what the other boy geniuses have for us with solo work,
mm,
because a post boy genius Lucy album did really good stuff, and I'm looking forward to more listens to it.
yeah,
um but some of my favorites on here were Talk, Ankles, Limerence, uh, Come Out, and Bullseye. But I also really liked Most Wanted Man and Lost Time. All really good stuff. Highly recommend this record. Probably my favorites that I've listened to of new stuff this year so far. And I give it a strong, solid 8.
cool,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Next thing I listened to was from the private collection of Saba and No ID. by Saba No ID. And I think this is a great record. Like I was talking about, I don't want to repeat myself too much, but it has a nice relaxing vibe to it. That's like just I don't know. It's a very chill hip hop record in a way that's like very pleasant on the ears, which I'm sure
Mhm.
these things have been done way before, but it's one of the first I think that I've listened to that's I've like thoroughly enjoyed on like that kind of level. And yeah, I just really like Saba as a lyricist and the way he flows over these beats made by No ID, which are just warm and very you know very pleasant to listen to. I just think it's a great combo that leads to some really great tracks. Some of my favorites on here were Every Painting Has a Price, as well as West Side Bound Part 4, Head Wrap, and then what was the other one? How to Impress God. I really enjoyed that one too. And yeah, I think it's just a lot of really memorable stuff on here that I've been enjoying every time I've been coming back to it over the week. And yeah, I have it at a strong 8. So I really enjoy this one as well.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, you said that was your last one, right?
Yes.
Cool. All right, I got two more. The two that I already talked about a little bit, but it's okay. I'll go quick. Next thing I listened to was Libre by Hesse Castle. Um, like I said, very first album Black Country New Road, but also kind of mixed with some Black Midiism too. I forgot to mention that. It's kind of the intersection of those two sounds. And yeah, it's a bit of a long album. It's an hour and 18 minutes, and a lot of long tracks on here too. The shortest track is 5 minutes and 56 seconds. But uh, I remember enjoying it quite a bit, and maybe a little bit derivative for my liking, just because there's a few times where I'm like, oh, okay, that's just track X, the Black Country Road song, or oh, okay, this sounds exactly like the guitar thing they do at the end of a Godspeed You Black Emperor song. And you know, some of those things were a little distracting, but there's also a lot of originality on here that's very cool too. And if I remember correctly, some of my favorites on here are Postparto, the first track. Uh, Man, I honestly don't remember the other ones enough. I need to give this one more listens. But I think I would probably give it somewhere in the 7 range. It's really cool when it's doing really well. And yeah, I need to listen to it more though. And then the last thing I listened to, Loose Dacus, Forever is a Feeling. Kind of went in depth on this one too. And I think it's good. I would even call it really good. And her second best. I really like a lot of the extra like strings and stuff that are brought onto this project. A lot of that orchestral feeling, at least for the first half of the record. And then Lucy Dacus, does great all the time too. And yeah, I'm looking forward to listening to this one more because I only have one listen so far. But I remember liking Big Deal quite a bit, as well as Limerence, Talk. For Keeps, I actually really enjoyed a lot too. It's a more acoustic cut on there. And Lost Time, the closer, I really enjoyed too. And yeah, I think it's a really solid record for her discography. And I have it at a really strong 7 at the moment.
Very nice. Very nice.
Very nice.
Cool. Well, that's what we listened
Oh,
to in March.
sure is.
Yeah, I'd recommend anything that I listen to for sure. And I'm sure Mike definitely recommends that Playboy Cardi album.
Absolutely.
Um, but yeah, moving on into some music news. Very heavy on the singles this week.
Yeah.
I got one, two, three, four. You
Oh
got
damn.
5 singles written down.
God damn, I got 3 written down.
All
Um
right, well, you,
hmm?
first one I have written down
Okay.
is uh,
That works.
is is the new Linkin Park song
Oh,
that was released, which is called. It is called.
it is called.
I rated it. It is called Up from the Bottom.
Uh,
Um,
oh wait, is that the one that they had in Fortnite?
yeah,
That's a new song? Oh, okay.
Right.
That's
And that's basically what I want to say about it is it's basically it really just sounds like most of what was on From Zero. And that's not a bad thing, but I think there are a lot more um just like there are a lot more bangers on From Zero than that sound better and are more enjoyable than up from the bottom. It's not a bad song. I only gave it one listen though. Um and I'm I think it just could be better, honestly.
yeah.
It's not bad, but it's just you know, pretty mid.
I guess I have
Um,
listened to that track because I played it on Fortnite. I didn't. I feel like that's the first time a song has been like debuted on the same day it has like a Fortnite track.
I think so. Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. But like, I guess my review of the song is similar to yours. I played it on Fortnite and I was like, I don't remember this one from the album. But like, it didn't strike me as like, oh my god, is this a new song? I was just like, yeah, I don't remember this.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Uh, yeah. But, with that comes the announcement of a deluxe version of From Zero coming
Mm.
out in on May 16th, I think.
Okay.
Um, so, interested to see what they got coming for the deluxe, but
Yeah.
the song was just okay.
Cool. Yeah. The first one I have written down is the new Quadeca single. I've been saying a lot that Quadeca is teasing, and boy, was he teasing. I've probably been saying that since last year. But the first single from Vanisher, Horizon Scraper, is finally out, and it is called God Stained. And I think it's a really good track. I A lot of times with Quadeca stuff, I think I've had this same reaction with the last two projects. The stuff like really grows on me like over time, because it's just he's just so highly conceptual and stuff. You got to get in the right vibe and headspace. But this one has grown on me quite a bit with each listen. I think it's a very great song. I love a lot of the chords on here, the folky instrumentals. I like those like flutes and stuff that are coming in. And like it turns like bossa nova a little bit in there, and then also towards the end some of the rapping stuff is really interesting when he does to the production there. It's just a very detailed Quadeca track with some folky instrumentation, and like I don't know, I think it's pretty sick. I like it quite a bit.
Yeah, it's a great song. I'm definitely interested in what the rest of the album's going to sound like because I really, really, really enjoyed the instrumental in the first good bit of the song.
Yeah.
The As well as the singing and everything on it. On first listen, I wasn't very big on the switch up at the end.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of like just misplaced a little bit, but after I gave it a couple more, it grew. That part grew on me a good bit. But I will say I did like the first 75% of the song a lot more than that switch up.
I think that's completely valid. I kind of have that same criticism a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, um, but it's still not. The switch up isn't bad by any means. It's
Yeah.
just but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what other singles he releases if he does.
Hmm.
But good song, very cool.
Very, very cool.
Quonka did.
Quanka,
Um,
Quanka sure did.
Next one I have listed here is the new Little Simz
Mm-hmm.
song, which is called
Free.
"Free."
Yeah.
Um, and I listened to that a little bit before the podcast recording, and I like it a lot more than the first single that
Yeah.
she released. Because it kind of fits more into that Little Sims like you know headspace kind of stuff that she's been making and has made. Really good flow, great lyricism. Just like it's really well done. And I'll give it a couple more listens, but on first listen I thought it was really cool, very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one that I need to listen to a little bit more as well. But I agree that I like it a lot better than the first single. I really love the guitars on it and the strings that come into, and I can't remember the bars off the top of my head just because I've listened to a lot of music this week, but I remember liking the lyrics on it quite a bit too. Like there were some great lines about like, oh God, love in there. I think it was love. But yeah, no, it's a great track, and this one has me more excited for the record coming
Oh yeah,
soonish. I don't remember when it's coming. But
May.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, no, it's a great track that I really enjoyed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last one I had Little Sims written down. And then the last one I have is the new Black Country New Road song called For the Cold Country, which came out.
Mhm.
And this is also one that I need to give more listens. I feel like that's the theme of this week. But like it's like a 6 minute song with like a lot of moving parts and a lot of like pacing and payoff and all that kind of stuff. And I do enjoy it quite a bit, especially once it starts getting into that ending section. And I've enjoyed it more with each listen. But it's kind of a complex. Not that they don't usually do complex songs, but complex in the way where it's like almost like it's its own full art piece of a song, which is
Mhm.
really cool, but it's also not necessarily the easiest digestible thing. So I need it to sit with me for a little bit, but I do enjoy it quite a bit. And I think I believe May is singing on the whole thing, and her vocals are great all throughout, and there's some great melodies and a bunch of great switch ups that happen throughout. But yeah, yeah, no, I like this one a lot. It's a great track.
Yeah, I also really like this song. I think it's probably my favorite of the singles for this record that they've released.
Yeah,
It's just, it's like you said, it's very complex and very all over the place, but it's like it's super well done. And it's very pretty. And May, as you said, is does a really good job on it. I do think I need a couple more listens to it because I only gave it two. But
yeah,
good song. Really looking forward to the record next week. But
yes. Oh shit,
yeah.
yeah. Forewarning: I will not be playing games next Thursday.
Very fair.
Yes, yeah.
Um,
At least not at 11.
um, did I lie about having five? I think I
Oh
lied.
my
One,
god.
two, three, four. No, I did. I have five.
Okay.
And the last one that I have, because we shared the Black Country New Road, was
Hmm.
a new Kesha single was
Oh,
released called Yippee Ki Yay,
okay.
and it's bad.
Oh, damn.
It's bad. It's featuring T-Pain, um,
Okay.
which it doesn't mean it's gonna be bad
Right.
from
Yeah.
that, but it is.
That's a hit or miss. You
Uh,
know.
yeah, it's like faux country, bro country,
Oh,
pop rap, and it's just not good.
damn.
It feels like they were trying to emulate kind of what what Post Malone did on his
Oh.
last record
Oh,
a
we're
little
going
bit.
that direction. Okay.
Yeah. And it's not like as country as that record, but it's
Yeah.
still it's got that I had some help, that kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
pop country kind of it's just not good, which is like
Damn.
super disappointing because I really liked Joyride from last year.
Yeah.
Um and this is the first single from her new record Period, which is coming out on
Yeah.
the 4th of July, I think.
Oh.
Um and yeah, just yeah, I was like, oh, cool, new Kesha, and then I went on album of the year to see what people were giving it, and it's at a 47.
Oh.
um
Oof.
and I was like, oh, but I was like, you know what, I'll check it out, see if it's good, see if it's as bad as they're talking, and it's I think it's worse than what they have it
Oh
at,
my god.
honestly. It's not good, man.
Damn.
um but I'm hopeful that there's some stuff that's as good or near the quality of Joyride, because that was a cool switch up, kind of like fresh take. And
Yeah.
this one was just like not good, which is like so sad.
Yeah.
But
That's unfortunate to hear because I mean I feel like Kesha's since like whenever she came back and
Mhm.
I don't know, 2019-ish, something like that. Like I feel like since then, a lot of people have been rooting for her.
Yeah.
And kind of, I feel like that's the first time I've heard like people aren't really liking what she's doing. Like there's not even like the pop group that are liking what she's doing a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you wanted some, um, if you want to hear some, pretty shit pop country, I'd
Hmm.
check it out. But otherwise, save your ears.
Yeah.
Um,
Damn.
but
Unfortunate.
yeah, but that's all the singles that I have
Damn.
written down. But busy week for music, very
Yeah,
cool.
very busy week.
Yeah, which I'm not upset about. Very very interested to see what albums sound like when they come out for people who have released singles, and um, yeah, especially for next week, which is
Oh yeah.
both Joe and Black Country New Road.
Ooh.
So,
Yeah.
um,
Maybe
and
I'll.
I forgot to, I forgot to talk about it last week, but I got a letter in the mail
Oh.
a couple a couple weeks ago. Um, and it was like from the state. Here, I got it right here. I think actually, let's see.
Oh boy, we about to have
Um,
visual content on the BrokeN Boys podcast.
no, I probably shouldn't send a picture of
Oh,
it,
okay.
but
Yeah.
it's from the state's attorney's office.
Oh
And I
yeah.
was,
Probably don't want to send that one. Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, what's this? But it also has my last name spelled wrong.
Oh,
Um,
sick.
it's with a T instead of a K, where it's
Okay.
supposed to be.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, that's weird. Maybe this is fake or something. But I opened it up, and it says, I'll you are commanded to appear to testify before the Circuit Court of blank county in the above entitled case at Law and Justice Center, um,
The hell?
before judge, um, in a minor traffic court.
Oh,
And I was like,
okay.
oh, did I do something wrong? Did I
Yeah.
run a red light? Like, what the fuck happened? I don't know what I did. Um, and it turns out, I don't know if you remember, but a couple months ago, I talked about a car crash that me and Max
Yeah.
witnessed.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And this is to go and testify about what I saw and what I witnessed.
Damn.
And it's next Friday, which is awesome.
Oh, great.
So, it's at 1:30, so I might have to
Hopefully.
adjust when we record.
I was gonna say we could
But
figure it out. I can go
yeah,
early if actually it'd probably make more sense to go after, but we could go
yeah.
early too.
Um,
I don't want to ruin your Friday night plans.
no, it's all good. But yeah, I got that, and I was like, oh, fuck me, dude.
Yeah.
But my name is also printed wrong on the actual letter, so I was like,
Yeah.
does that mean like I don't have to go if it's the wrong name? That's not me. That's not me.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
That motherfucker back there is not real.
Yeah.
But no, I looked it up
Saul
and I have.
Goodman trick.
But no, I looked it up and I have to go. But
Yeah, yeah,
but yeah, no, next week, couple albums coming out. Very excited for those.
Mhm.
In other news, this week, there was a Nintendo Direct that happened yesterday, and most of the shit was like stuff that I don't care about.
Uh-huh.
But there is a gem from the era of the 3DS called Tamagotchi Life,
Oh
which
yes.
was
Yeah.
it's very silly. Like you create Mii's, and it's kind of like a sim. It's kind of like Sims, but for Mii's,
Yeah.
and it's just like super silly. And they use like this weird text to speech filter, and the speaking just sounds super weird, and it was so fun and so quirky and so just out of pocket. And people have been wanting a sequel for so long, and we never thought that anything would come of it, but on this Nintendo Direct, a new Tamagotchi Life was announced to come out next year, and I'm very excited for that. That's awesome. I love that.
Cool.
That's cool.
I never played
I
that,
saw,
but I do remember it. I remember the art style and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, just like super silly. I love that game. I'm very excited to play that new one. Um, and then I saw a TikTok earlier speaking on a rumor in the Broadway world,
Oh,
which is that the Black
Hamilton
Parade by
2?
Mike.
Oh, sorry.
I wish. No, but the Black Parade might be getting the Broadway treatment
Oh shit.
um, soon, which uh, American Idiot by Green Day got the Broadway treatment many years ago, and
Yeah.
people like that one. And the Black Parade is a rock opera, so I could see
Yeah.
that being made very well into a Broadway show.
Yeah, honestly, now that you're saying it, I'm kind of surprised it hasn't been done yet.
Right.
Yeah.
You'd think, but,
Yeah.
uh, we'll see. That's cool. Just a rumor as of right now, but I
Yeah.
could see that being very cool.
That would be sick. Yeah.
And then in in the world of Marvel this week, earlier this week, there was a live stream that was like announced that was like gonna reveal some stuff that like was supposed to blow the reveal of Robert Downey Jr. being Doctor Doom out of the water, just
Okay.
with some announcements. And the live stream, I clicked on it when it started, and it was like maybe 10:30 in the morning, maybe or so. Um, and I was like, oh, it was the back of an actor chair, like one of the wooden ones with like the
Uh-huh.
fabric and their name on the back of it. Um, and there were a couple revealed. It was like Chris Hemsworth, um, I think Letitia Wright, and one other person. Oh, like another like big one from past Marvel movies. Letitia
Uh-huh.
Wright plays Shuri in Black Panther and is the Black Panther as of now in the MCU. But Chris Hemsworth is Thor and such. And the whole live stream was just like revealing some of the cast that's going to be in Avengers Doomsday. Um, but this live stream lasted, I want to say 7 hours,
Holy shit.
and the reveals of the names, it took 15 minutes between every fucking chair.
Oh my god. Was it just like a
um
slow pan over each time or something? Or like
it was they were playing like a low like ambiance music
uh-huh.
when, and then it would like transition into like a character theme, and they'd move on to the next chair slowly, and then it would stop there for 15
Oh
minutes,
my god.
and then it would play another theme and move on to the next
Yeah.
chair, and then another 15 more minutes. um,
Yep.
and it was the stupidest fucking way to reveal the cast. But there is some really cool stuff that they revealed. Some being Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen from the old X-Men movies.
Uh-huh.
You got also Alan Cumming, who played Nightcrawler in X2 back in the early 2000s, which is like crazy out of nowhere. Channing Tatum is coming back from Deadpool and Wolverine as Gambit.
Oh shit.
Um, I think, and then all the Fantastic Four is coming back. Of course, Tom Hiddleston was another one that was revealed who plays Loki, which is a surprise considering how the last season of Loki ended.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but there's a lot of cool names, a lot of cool reveals. Um, a couple other like X-Men characters from the Fox universe, like James Marsden is Cyclops, and the old Mystique, not the Jennifer Lawrence one, but the one before her.
Yeah.
Uh, uh, and but there's and then it ended with Robert Downey Jr. being in his chair at the end. But there's
Wow, he
some
sat there
like
for 7 hours.
yeah. um, but there were some like names missing, like Tom Holland, Chris Pratt, Chris Evans, the and just like a bunch of like big names that were like not there.
What was
Which
it supposed to be like the complete cast? Like
I don't. I think they said that there's more coming, but for
okay.
now it's like it felt weird that there weren't
Right.
more
Yeah.
like big names from the current MCU timeline. Um, but it's cool. I'm still very interested in how they're gonna pull this off, if they're gonna do it at all.
Yeah.
But super cool. Just a really fucking stupid way of announcing all that, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Really big wasted time for a lot of people. And then a couple like world news things. I'm gonna look up his name now because there was a Oscar winner um, uh, who was who won the um, the best international film. Hamdan Bilal, I think is he won like best international film at the Oscars this year, and he's a Palestinian
Oh yeah, yeah.
director. And it was like the movie was about Palestine,
Right.
and just very looking well on Palestine and like talking about stuff. I think I don't know. I haven't seen the movie, but I've heard good things. But he was kidnapped by the IDF, who
Oh,
is the Israeli
right.
defense, whatever the fuck, who's been destroying Palestine and Gaza for over a year at this point. They kidnapped him and they beat him. And he's alive, thankfully, but they let him go. And there's like a video of him like limping out of the compound that they had him in, and like walking to a hospital.
Yeah.
Um, and he's just like talking about how they were making fun of him for being an Oscar winner and things like this. But he was fucking kidnapped and beaten, and it wasn't really fucking talked about
Yeah.
by a lot of people. Like the fucking when people brought up like when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars a couple years ago. That was like the talk of the town for months and months and months. He was banned from the Oscars for a couple years. And nobody is really talking about this. I think the only like mainstream actor that I saw really talk about it was Mark Ruffalo, who's been very outspoken about Palestine and Israel, in support of Palestine, obviously,
Right.
thankfully. But yeah, just like super fucking disgusting.
Yeah, that's awful.
Um, yeah, and it's just the ceasefire deal happened a couple months ago, and Israel immediately went back on that and have still been destroying Palestine and killing Palestinians,
Yep.
which is disgusting.
Of course. Yep.
Of course. But yeah, hope he's doing better, and I hope that something gets done soon. But and then in American news, there was a crazy intelligence leak at the beginning of the week, and it was bombing plans to to attack Yemen or drop bombs on Yemen.
Oh.
And the only reason that we know about these plans is because Pete Hegseth, who's the uh, director of the armed forces, JD Vance, and a couple other of big Republican representatives and people in the government created a group chat on
Mm-hmm.
a public a public messaging app called I forget what it's called, but it's an app that anybody can use, and they apparently mistakenly added a fucking reporter from the Atlantic.
Oh my God.
Um, yeah, and so while they were talking about these plans, specific times, specific places, specific locations, about when they were going to drop these bombs and attack Yemen, they just had this fucking reporter in there mistakenly, without realizing it, as they were dropping all these like you know facts and like logistics.
Right.
Um, and the reporter made a fucking article and was like, I don't know what the fuck that was. Like he thought it was a joke at first, but it wasn't. And for the whole week, Pete Hegseth and JD Vance have been, and other representatives have been like Like that didn't happen. No, like they've just been denying, and it's just like, guys, you
Yeah.
obviously fucking did it. Um,
Yeah. I saw the
and it's
memes
just,
about that. I didn't know the actual story of it though. That's fucking insane.
yeah, fucking crazy shit.
Yeah.
But just more and more embarrassing shit coming out of the second Trump uh, term, and
Hmm.
well, I don't know what else we were expecting, to be honest. So super cool.
Yeah.
But,
Awesome.
yeah, but yeah.
Yeah. It feels like we always cap off with Trump.
Yeah. I mean, we could talk about Invincible if you want.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. So Trump of the Invincible World Conquest.
Yes, yes.
No,
Yeah,
no,
stand ready
Conquest.
for my arrival, worm.
Conquest a lot cooler. Uh,
Yeah, he is.
yeah, I mean,
Uh,
what would you think? I mean, I
uh,
guess do we want to give a spoiler warning? How much?
yeah, it's probably good.
Okay,
Give a
spoiler
spoiler
warning
warning.
for Invincible for the next like
Uh,
5 to 10 minutes.
yeah. Um, but I thought it was really good. I think the third season I think the second season was good, but the third season like really picked up
Yeah.
a lot. I think that's the way in which they told the story of like Mark turning on Cecil a little bit and like
Yeah.
leaving the GDA and stuff was like super well done. Um, and all the stuff with like Oliver was really, like pretty good. I think it's interesting to see like this little kid who got his powers a lot sooner, and just like being a little too uh, open about being violent with them,
Hmm.
like the scene with like the Mahler twins, where he's just like, I don't, too late to surrender, and he fucking
Right.
murders them both.
Yeah.
Um, but when I liked a lot of the Rex, like the way in which he has progressed and become like a better person throughout the last couple seasons.
Hmm.
And I knew that he died prior to watching the episode. But like just like watching him like create this relationship with Ray and make up for things that he had done in the past, uh it just like it just hurt more knowing that he was gonna just fucking explode. uh
Yeah. It's gonna explode. Yeah.
exactly. But um yeah, I thought that that was really good. The last two episodes are very good.
Yeah.
um
Yeah.
like the Invincible War was like, um it ended a little anticlimactic to what I was expecting to happen. I thought they were going to kill a lot more of the Invincibles than they did. Um, but the and also like Angstrom is kind of like, I don't know, he's kind of a mid villain to me
Yeah.
a little bit. Like I liked the way in which the last season ended, where the season two ended, where Mark like kills him, or at least he thought so, and he was just like kind of battling that
Mm.
throughout this season and everything. But I don't know. I know it's like part of the story and everything, but like I feel like bringing him back and just like allowing him to live was kind of yeah. Um,
Yeah, I really enjoy this show, but like as of late, like in the last couple seasons, I really do think it has a problem with killing off characters that it kills off. You know what I mean?
mm,
Um, like it kind of the same thing happened. Yeah, it was season two where like there was that whole scene of like where it seemed like three of the Guardians died in one scene with like Shrinking Ray, Duplicate, and Rex. Like I think the episode ended with him getting like shot in the face or some shit.
yeah.
Um, and like it was like, oh my god, they just did that, and then oh, all three of them are alive again, and it's like, I'm not a big fan of how much the show has been doing that. But and like even to the point where like I'm not even entirely sure if I should believe that Rex is dead this time. But um,
From what I've seen of the comics, I do think he is dead
no.
after that. So um, But
Yeah, the fact that I'm even questioning it though is,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I mean,
I
it
don't know.
it is very comic booky to
I guess so.
kill characters off and then they're not really dead and they come back in some weird way.
Yeah,
Um, but the duplicate one was like the stupidest of them. I think of the
yeah,
just being able to come back to life. It's like, oh, I always had a copy.
yeah,
um, it's
yeah,
like, come on. Like I would have enjoyed a little bit of a sad immortal. I think
mm,
that would have been a fun arc, but oh well. Um, but that last episode with Conquest was fucking, oh my god,
yeah, oh yeah.
so good.
That was definitely the
Um,
best one. Yeah. I mean, well,
yeah,
I really early. I want to say also earlier in the season there was the episode where it was like, it kind of like when you were talking about like the conflict between Mark and Cecil, but like it was giving a lot of like Cecil's backstory and stuff, and like kind of
yeah,
giving some stuff to his reasonings of like handling things. Like I really love that episode too.
yeah,
Um,
that was good
but
too.
yeah, Conquest.
But yeah, Conquest coming in and it being Jeffrey Dean Morgan,
Oh
like
yeah.
fantastic. Uh, like really good voice acting. The animation was fucking on point that
Yeah.
episode.
Yep.
It's like really, really, really well done. Um, but like just like all the fighting scenes are so fucking good. Um, the only like qualm I had with that last episode is like they talked about how destroyed every city was and all these like we need to help rebuild and everything. And then when Conquest comes, Mark is just like, fuck it. And he just fights him in the middle of the city, in the
Yeah.
middle of multiple cities. And it's like, I understand that Conquest is like super strong and you're not going to like move him easily. But, bringing him out into space or into the middle of a desert or something, I feel like, would have been more of the move there.
Yeah. I don't know how
But
much control he had over that.
yeah,
Yeah.
but and then another thing was like when Conquest first arrived at the end of the seventh episode, he had this like weird Jeffrey D. Morgan had like this weird tone in his voice, um, and then he said he didn't sound too much like Jeffrey D. Morgan, but then like throughout episode 8, he just sounded like Jeffrey D. Morgan,
Yeah.
which I
Shocking.
thought was like weird choice.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, it was really fucking really good. As I also forgot to talk about the episode with Aaron Paul,
Yeah.
the
Yeah, that was a good one too.
yeah, I forget his villain's name, but
I don't remember.
but Aaron Paul's talking throughout that episode really was just like the embodiment of like he can't keep getting away with this.
He is very as much as I love Aaron Paul, he has been very typecasted as the man who keeps getting unfortunate things happening to his family.
Yeah. And he's great in that
Oh,
episode,
he
but
is. He does great at
it's
that role.
yeah, yeah. It was just like and also like his whole thing where he's like trying to get on the news and get in front of people and be like, well, fucking, get this guy, get Invincible, put him on trial, all this shit. It's like,
Yeah.
and then like he's like complaining about the city and everything being destroyed and all the people dying, and then he's like falling through bridges and possibly getting people hurt, and it's like,
Yeah.
dude,
Definitely
you're
not
doing the
a
same shit.
yeah, definitely not a mentally stable character, but
No, no, no. But,
and then also Jonathan
yeah.
Banks and there very briefly.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
but
what I meant by they
I
were getting the whole Breaking Bad cast back together.
yes, they were. Um, but yeah, I really liked it. I'm really looking forward to season 4 and what they
Yeah.
do. I've heard of some arcs coming up from the comics that are like pretty cool and interesting. So I'm very
Yeah.
interested to see what they do with that.
Yeah, I'm trying not to look into like the comics stuff because I know people are just kind of willy-nilly spoiling that in places, and I'm like, I'm trying not to try to avoid that. But I have seen that we are like a little bit more than halfway through all the comics though, so that's
Oh, really?
yeah.
Yeah, I was watching a couple videos of like analyses
Uh
of first couple seasons. Really, like he went through like when these events in the episodes happened in the comics and stuff. And I was surprised to hear that the whole Chicago arc, or the whole Chicago attack and everything happened so soon in the comics. It was like
oh, did it?
yeah, it was like issue between it was like between issue 15 and 20, I think.
Mm.
Um, man, that just feels like so soon
Yeah.
compared to. And I know it happened in like 8 episodes, um, in the first season, but they're also like hour-long episodes.
Right.
So, but there's a lot of cool like stuff that they took out of the comics for the show, and the original stuff that they added.
Mm-hmm.
But like, cool videos. I would recommend watching those.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably should. Yeah.
Yeah, but
But
yeah, cool show.
cool show.
Go watch
Exactly.
Invincible.
Yes. If you I guess we didn't really spoil like too much, but
No.
just that the season is good is most of what we were saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we can move on to song of the week unless you got anything else to
Right.
add.
None.
Cool. Well, it is me up first this week, and there's a lot of choices that I have this week. Um, I think I'm gonna go because if I don't highlight it this week, I might not highlight it again. So I'm going to go with something from that Saba and No ID project that I really enjoyed this week. I think I might just go with the opener because it sets a really good tone for the album that I like a lot. So I'm gonna go with Every Painting Has a Price by Saba and No ID.
It's crazy how many stories people claim that you're voicing. I was vocally sober till I buried my brothers. They did everything.
All right, that was Every Painting Has a Price by Saba and No ID. What'd you think of that, Colin?
I like that a lot. Very smooth. Very uh, it's like jazzy, kind
Yeah,
of.
kind of.
Yeah. Just like I think it's very very nice. I think I haven't listened to like a Saba record um by itself. I think his last record that released you really liked. Yeah, no, it wasn't Saba,
I
was it?
haven't listened to Saba, but oh, you're thinking of Sampha. Yeah.
Sampha.
There
Yeah.
there's like I realized this week there are so many people that have like the same kind of name. There's like Sampha, there's Saba, there's like Sa Baby, which Hive Mind talks about a lot, and there's another one too that I'm forgetting right now. But like there's so many people who start with like SA in their name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways.
But I think I've heard Saba and other things, but he sounds really good, and um, it's just really well produced and really well made. I'd be interested in hearing what the rest of the record sounds like, because that was really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the rest of the record has a very similar vibe to that. It's just like really well produced, really well performed, and just it's got a nice laid back vibe for a lot of it too. But like the lyrics are still great. Like that track is talking about a lot of like interactions with the fans and like how he's gotten to the place he's gotten to and like the responsibilities that come with that a little bit. And Yeah, I don't know. I really enjoy his style of writing and his style of rapping and flow, and the beats are just. I just love the vibe of that opening instrumental. I mean, like a lot of it kind of has similar vibes, but something about that sample. I'm guessing it's a sample for a lot of it.
Mm.
It I don't know, tickles something in my brain. It's nice. I've really enjoyed that track.
Really great track.
Yeah,
Nice, very cool opener.
yeah, cool. What are you feeling for this week?
Well, I really liked that Lucy album that came out, so I'm gonna go with "Talk" by Lucy Dacus.
Ooh, nice.
Why can't we anymore?
All right, that was "Talk" by Lucy Dacus. What'd you think, Mike?
I think that's a great song. That's one of my favorites from the one listen I've had. Well, I guess two listens now, but one listen of the album that I've had. Some big historian vibes on that one, and that was both of our favorite record by her when we did our artist analysis. And
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, I love the distortion on those guitars. I love how huge it sounds, but also kind of atmospheric at points. And I like how she has like how she keeps her vocals kind of low for a lot of the track too. It's really
Mhm.
I don't know. It's a whole vibe and it's great and I that's one of the strongest tracks on the record for sure.
Yeah, it is. It's really well done. I really love those the distortion on the guitars as well. Um, I just really like the production, and the lyrics are really good too.
Yeah.
Just and also just great writing from Lucy still, and I don't think that that's anything that's ever going to change, because she just is a fantastic songwriter, and
Agreed.
I look forward to listening to this more throughout the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick. Yep. Same here. Cool.
Cool.
Well, unless you got anything else to add, again, I keep repeating that a lot. I need to only say that once, but
All right.
we can move on into our little outro section here. If you're listening on streaming services, thank you very much. We love you to death, and we appreciate you as well. You should give us 5 stars or full stars on whatever streaming app you are on for podcasts. But over on YouTube, we have a whole bunch of stuff too. First off, you can see we're under the same name, BrokeN Bois, capital N BOIS, and you can see our beautiful profile pictures. Mine's different this week, in anticipation of Black Country Road next week. I got the little the sun guy from the album cover, and now my background is a nice tomato red, which goes perfectly against Colin's whiteness of his conquest profile picture.
Ultramite white.
Yeah, exactly. We're making a beautiful Malta flag right now, the two of us. Yeah, can come see those, but also we got a whole bunch of stuff in the description. For one, the song of the week playlists even. We have 3 of those for that segment we just did. We have one for me, we have one for Colin, we have one for both of us combined. And you can be just like my buddy Daniel, who was listening through all of them, and as you should do too. Yeah, I said it right the first time. Dear viewer. And in those playlists, we just added Talk by Lucy Dacus, as well as Every Painting Has a Price by Saba and No ID. So you can go on and listen to those along with a whole slew of other stuff. More Lucy Dacus in there. We also have some personal stuff too. Like I said, I am making music. I have made music. I have made music, and you can even see that on Spotify and Apple Music and wherever. You got Coping Mechanism on there to catch up on your plaintive lore for this upcoming EP. Yes. I also have my Instagram down there and my album of the year page where I rate and review music, as well as my TikTok and my YouTube. And yeah, that's oh god. Okay. It literally happens every week where I think about it as I'm thinking about what I have down there in my links. I'm like, oh yeah. Oh, we're still doing this shit. No. I like doing this. In relation to you, dear viewer, I am. You know what? I'll just go basic this week. And I'm so hyped for that Black Country New Road album that I have anamorphosized myself into, I don't know if that's a word, into the sun from the cover. So I now look exactly like my profile picture, and I'm standing right behind you, giving you a nice little wave with my cool ass sunglasses.
Almost cousin over there.
Yeah. If you wish. I'm mole. Or Lemo. Actually, I'm gonna go with Lemo. I like that one better.
You've been 31 and a half for 7 years.
Yeah, exactly. So that's me. And Colin over here, he runs our socials. He runs our Twitter page where he updates when videos are posted, as well as our Instagram page where he posts funny clips of us, as well as our TikTok page as well, where he posts funny clips of us. And both of those are linked, or all three of those are linked down there. Go support those, give them some love. And he also has an album of the year page where he rates and reviews music, as well as a letterbox where he rates and reviews movies.
Yep.
So go check out all those, give them some love. And Colin, what is your relation to our dear viewer?
Well, since you are Lemo, I am going to also personify my profile picture, and I'm Conquest.
Okay.
And and as Lemo and our dear viewer are helping to rebuild the cities in which the other Invincibles have destroyed, I'm going to fly on down, and I'm going to say, "Stand ready for my arrival, worms." And I'm going to look down, and I'm going to say, "Holy shit, is that Elmo? Is that Elmo?" And I'm gonna get a little closer, and I'm gonna realize, oh, it's Lemo. But he's still cool, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, look at his sunglasses. He's cool.
Yeah, he's cool shit. Deal with it. And I'm gonna take a break since obviously Invincible isn't here in this area. I'm going to fly on down, land, and ask for a picture with good old Lemo. And our dear viewer is going to see Conquest, go, "Holy shit, I love Invincible!" And they're going to ask for a picture too. And after we're done taking a picture, they're going to be like, "Can I get a hug?" And I'll be like, "You can get a hug from both Conquest and Lemo." So we're going to, me in the front, viewer in the middle, Lemo in the back. We're going to embrace our dear viewer from in front and behind. And I'm going to look at Lemo in the eyes, lift up his sunglasses a little bit, and just start making out with Lemo right next to our dear viewers'
You're
head
really desperate for love.
ears. Yeah. I'm so lonely.
Yeah.
And as we make out next to our dear viewer's head as Conquest and Lemo this week, this embrace is what we like to call the love cage. And all you must do, dear viewer, to get your own love cage is drop that address down in the comments below. We will find you. You won't know when, you won't know where, but we will find you, and you will get your very own love cage. So drop that addy.
Yeah. I wonder if Rule 34 has accounted for the Black Country New Road Sun and Conquest before.
I'll draw it myself.
All right. Somebody got to do it.
Yeah. Put some Viltrum on that
Limousi
sun guy. Somebody got to do it.
I'm glad that we established that he is 31 and a half. Well, thank you for listening, dear viewer. We will talk to you next week about some Black Country New Road and some Joe.
Yes,
sir.
Okay. Excited.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.